Good morning to you, all brothers and sisters in Christ. And may I know how you are doing? And may I also encourage you to greet the person sitting by your side. I realized Brother Alfred didn't greet the wife. Okay. Because he greeted her in the morning in the house. It's a joy to be in the presence of the Lord once again. And as we gathered here this morning to worship Him, we need to listen to His word. To our visitors, we want to say welcome, and this is in Samuel Road Church of Christ. We ask that the Lord will speak to your heart as you listen to His word. Now, per the launching of the calendar of activities for 2018, I want to believe that all of you are fully aware of one major event of electing new elders and deacons. Because last week when it was being launched, I remember very well, but the Shadrach emphasized that so much. And those of you who have been coming to Wednesday Bible class, last Wednesday when we met, we have already begun the class on that. Now for a period of 12 weeks, we will be going through these lessons through Bible class and sermon periods on Sundays and also on Wednesdays as well. Bible class and answer futuo. This is to help all of us provide the necessary education that will bring understanding towards this important subject. We encourage all of you to participate fully in all this important spiritual exercise, please. Especially during adult Bible studies on Sundays. This morning, when Brother Alfred began the Bible studies, you realize that there were few people who were here. And please, that gap is not going to help us at all. Because what it means is that at the end of it all, not all of us might have taken good grips on the subject matter so as to exercise what we are supposed to do, please. That is what gives reasons why people will even elect somebody who doesn't qualify at all. Because you were not in the class to listen to the details of some of the things that you need to know. This morning we are looking at the topic, understanding the call to lead in the church. Understanding the call to lead in the church. And what I'm going to do this morning is just to look at the background before we begin to look at some details of what the call requires, the details of it. And so I'll be doing it in two-part series. So basically this morning I'm going to take you through some background information, the occasion that brought about all these things, just for you to get a good understanding and a good grasp of what we are doing. Now, anytime the subject of electing elders and deacons arises, we are drawn to two major passages. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 13, and then Titus chapter 1, verses 5 going.
Passages are now saying, some Biamianu Nabayandrum, Nedika Timothy Medica Timiansa, Imubako Econo, Natosumianu, Aye, Tito Huma, Eti Bako, Imunum Econo.
These passages are so important to this exercise because
Sarah Biaya Yakan,
it provides the necessary qualifications, or call it qualities, for the church leadership. Brethren, the issue of leadership in the church is very, very important, and I think Brother Alfred emphasized that so much this morning. For some of us, we just take it for granted. For some of us, we even think it's not necessary. For some of us, even as we go through the exercise, we will not even participate in the exercise. But I want you to understand that as long as it is coming from God, it is important. If you want to know how something is important, look at where it is coming from. If it is coming from man, it may not be that important. But if it is coming from God, then you must deem it as something important. It is just like when you are reading the Bible, and then you get to a point where scripture says, for this is the will of God. Please stop. Don't continue the reading and begin to think. Prepare yourself, because something important is coming your way. So it is also with the subject of leadership in the church. Why do we say so? Because the image of every congregation, the image of every congregation, to a very large extent, is determined by its leadership. If you want to see the ministry of every congregation, if you want to see the impact of every congregation, if you want to know the reputation of every congregation, if you want to know the emphasis of a congregation, if you want to see their internal relationships, how they relate to one another, it all depends on the leadership. What they do is what will give birth to all these things. And so leadership is very, very important. People are a reflection of those who lead them. Your children will always reflect who you are as a father and as a mother, because you are leading them. And in most cases, they will do what you do. They will behave the way you behave. What is interesting is that we get mad at those things they do, not knowing that we created those things for them. And so, as whether we like it or not, people are a reflection of those who lead them. Back in the Old Testament, in Hosea chapter 4 verse 9, God was predicting the destruction of Israel. And as he was talking about their lifestyle, he got to a point where the priests who were leading them were leading the same lifestyle. And so it didn't surprise God at all that the nation were living the same lifestyle. And so listen to what God said. Hosea chapter 4 verse 9. It said, and it shall be like people like priests.
Now, say,
it shall be like people like priests. In other words, the people are just like their priests. And that is very important. In addition to that, the Apostle Paul knew very well that human model or pattern is important. And because of that, he was willing to become that model, that pattern. He knew very well that human beings need flesh and blood to model their or pattern their lives after. And so in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1, he said, be imitators of me, just as I also learned from Christ. It is interesting. The word imitate is important. That is what we got the English word mimic from. Mimicking somebody. When we say you are mimicking somebody, it's so interesting. You behave, you act, you speak. In fact, I had one man mimicking our former President Lawrence, and I was surprised because it was the exact voice.
Na okasa to say man penyin dada Rollins no okasa to say the name pepe and then your friend no saka say so usua ete efa.
Why are all this?
Adenti na yi nyina.
Because leadership is all about influence and modeling.
Esan say you can anim ya na nya say utumi nya atenka wo bi so na wo hwe wo bi usua.
It is very wrong to say listen to me but don't look at my life.
Na mfomso kra so be ka say tie nya me kan na nhwe me bla so usua.
I heard one woman advising the daughter.
And the
woman was telling the daughter, please chart your own course. Chart your own course. Don't look after me. Because if you looked after me, you will suffer. I said, what does it mean? If your own daughter can't pattern a life with yours, then that's a problem. Leadership is about influence and modeling. How do we know that from scripture? Paul started by talking to the Philippian church. In Philippians chapter 4 verse 9, Paul says, what you have learned and received and heard and seen in me.
Paul said,
practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. Brethren, listen to that carefully. What you have heard, what you have seen in me, what you have received in me. He said, practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. To the Ephesian church, he said something else. Acts chapter 20 verse 18, when he came to Miletus, he called the elders of Ephesus, and as he said so many things to them, this is what he said in verse 18. And when they came to him, he said to them, you yourselves know how I have lived among you the whole time from the first day that I set foot in Asia. You yourself know from the first day I set foot in Asia Minor. You know. You are witnesses to my life. And I want you to imitate me. What about the Hebrew writer? He also made a call to the congregation. And so we've seen that to the Philippians, that to the Ephesians. What is the Hebrew writer also saying to the congregation? We are looking at Hebrews chapter 13 verse 7. It reads, remember your leaders. Those who spoke to you the word of God. Consider the outcome of their way of life. Now here comes the point. And imitate their faith. Imitate them. Consider your leaders. Imitate their lives. So this becomes so important that we need to understand so that it will enhance this exercise that we are going through. Because to the extent to which we understand the importance of leadership in the church, it will help us to do this exercise in the way God wants it to be. Historically speaking, God has always mediated his purpose and plan through leaders in redemptive history. If you go back to the Old Testament, beginning with Abraham, you can talk about Moses, you can talk about Joshua, you can talk about the prophets. I mean, God really mediated his will and his plan through these people. But there is one important thing all of us need to understand in this matter. In all the studies that we have done on leadership, both Old Testament and New Testament, you realize that God puts premium and emphasis on the quality of their leadership. He puts premium on them. On the quality of the leadership. So that it is not just any leadership, but leadership that will meet the standards of God. And I believe it is no different from today's leadership as well. Let's look at the situation that occasioned 1 Timothy chapter 3. What was going on? Because we need to appreciate the background so that we can understand what we are doing. Now here Paul is writing to Timothy, who was left in Ephesus. 3 years have passed since Paul started the church in Ephesus. You can cross-check that in Acts chapter 20, verse 31. Paul says, therefore be alert, remembering that for 3 years I did not cease night or day to admonish everyone with tears. And so 3 years have passed when Paul began the church. Undoubtedly, we believe he taught them very well and raised godly leaders who had intimate relationship with him. That is Paul. So much so that when Paul said he was leaving Ephesus, they broke down. They were in tears emotionally. And I read this in Acts chapter 20, verse 36 to 38. And when he had said these things to them, he had apparently said so many things to them. He knelt down and prayed with them all. And there was much weeping on the part of all.
And
look at what they did. They embraced Paul and kissed him. Being sorrowful most of all because of the word he has spoken, that they will not see his face again. And they accompanied him to the ship. He was to depart. So certainly the Ephesian church has some leadership that were working. They have elders, they were working. But what really happened, if you notice the Ephesian church, it was a great church. In fact, it was the first church God used to spread the churches even in Asia Minor. Those of you who read much about Revelation chapter 2 and 3, you see the 7 churches. Actually, there were more than 7 churches. But anytime you read about the 7 churches, the church that begins is what? The church of Ephesus. It is always first. And if you decide to travel through all those churches, you will begin. You have to start from Ephesus. In 2013, when we had the opportunity to visit Turkey, with the other side, which is Asia Minor, you have to begin from Ephesus and then you go to the other side before you finish that trip. That's what happened. You can never jump to Pergamum without starting from Ephesus. So if you look at the map, it's the same route. You must begin from Ephesus. Ephesus was the church that began and spread through all other places. And that is why you read in Revelation chapter 2 verse 1, to the church at Ephesus. Now after Paul had left till the time he returned, after his first imprisonment in Rome, the church in Ephesus had been on a serious decline, led by the false leaders from within the church and without the church. You can see this in Acts chapter 20 verse 27. I'm going to read that. They were going through serious decline. The church was going down. And you begin to understand that it was because of leadership. That is why experts in leadership will say that everything rises and falls on leadership. Ghana will rise or fall based on the leadership we have. There is no question about that. Because they are in the helms of affairs. Of the policies they will bring, the laws they will enact, everything depends on leadership. So it is with the church. So by the time he gets out of prison, the Apostle Paul gets out of prison and goes to Ephesus to meet Timothy, he discovered that the church is filled with false teachers. It was filled with false overseers who were teaching lies and heresies. And so leaving Timothy there to set things in order, he goes on to Macedonia. Paul left and went to Macedonia. Then later on, he rises back to Timothy and instructs him to settle the leadership crisis among other crises in the church. That is why you see the writing of First Timothy in that way. It's about problems in the church. Crisis in Ephesus. And I'm going to take you through some few ones. But one of it, the major one you can talk about was leadership. And Paul was instructing, fix it. Now, Paul, put these things in order. If you consider Paul's list of qualifications, when he wrote to Timothy, I mean, you can infer or conclude that those qualifications were qualifications the people in the church in Ephesus by that time who were leading, I mean, were not having at all. Now he listed these qualifications. I mean, for me to show a contrast. Yeah, a contrast between what it takes to be a leader in the church and what the Ephesian leaders were not. Now, look at 1 the following passages, which are indicative to the crisis, indicate to us the crisis in the Ephesian leadership. Look at 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 3. As I urged you when I was going to Macedonia, remain at Ephesus, so that you may charge certain persons not to teach any different doctrine. So you know why he left Timothy in Ephesus. Now he's writing back to him, giving him instructions as to how to treat the problems in the church. And among those instructions, we find that sound doctrine was an issue. 1 Timothy chapter 1, 6-7. It says certain persons, by swerving from this, have wandered away into vain discussions, unnecessary discussions. Discussions that does not profit the church. It doesn't benefit the church. They are fighting on those things. So they were having unnecessary discussions. Desiring to be teachers of the law. Apparently, these are the Jewish community, the Jewish people. Then he said, without understanding either what they are saying or the things about which they make confident assertions. I mean, they were teaching powerfully, but they didn't even know what they were talking about. It is like somebody being so religious, but he has no God. Because he's not so based on truth. Look at 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12. I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man. Rather, she is to remain quiet. That gives you an indication that some women have seized power in the church. Some women were controlling something. And Paul says, Timothy, I do not permit. In the Greek, it's emphatic. It's not a question of Paul's traditional thinking, as some people say.
Asema Paul kanu nya amamre bi asem wo hela munu na ye pefe.
I have had a debate with some women who said they are pastors, and they will be saying what Paul was saying, he was reflecting their culture. There is nothing cultural here. There is nothing cultural here. That is why he will move you and said, for Adam was created first. Is it a cultural thing for Adam to be created first? Is it a cultural thing for Adam to be created first? No. It's not a cultural thing. It's a divine mandate. And we need to understand it this way. It amazes me that women are struggling in this direction. And some churches are bought into their lies. Today, women are creating their own Bibles. Wherever you read and you see he for God, they will change it and make it she. I don't know what they are looking for. Because scripture doesn't discriminate against them at all. Even though over the years women had problems because of the way men handled them. But I can tell you on authority that Jesus Christ, the apostles, and all those in the New Testament as you see in leadership, treated women with dignity. But they are not satisfied. And so in the church at Ephesus, they were hijacking some of these things. When you read that statement, I permit them not to have authority, the proper translation means not to make a coup.
Now, okay, baby, I can't say, man, one can say, it
is like making a coup d'etat and removing the one who is in charge. That is what was happening. Sometimes when you think about what is going on in our world today, of these gender issues, the Beijing conference and whatever you can think about, it didn't start just recently, please. These women advocates began long ago. And if you care to know 1 Corinthians chapter 11, treating head covering, that issue, the subject matter was bordering on women trying to exercise authority to some extent.
Now, according to
it was a symbol of submission. And they were not willing to submit. And so the best thing is remove it. That is why Paul instructed them to. We will treat that maybe some time to come. Look at 1 Timothy chapter 4. We are just trying to look at some of the issues that Paul asked Timothy to address. 1 Timothy chapter 4 verses 1 to 3. Now the Spirit expressly says that in later times some will depart from the faith. The Spirit expressly says that in later times some will depart from the faith. Devoting themselves to deceitful spirits and the teachings of demons through insincerity of liars whose conscience are seared. Therefore, forbid people to marry and require people to abstain from certain food that God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and know the truth. And this was a problem in the church in Ephesus. There were some teachers teaching all these things. They were recommending celibacy and disregarding marriage. It is a blessing to stay like that. Well, just in case you don't know, even today the Roman fathers are beginning to think twice. And they are beginning to reconsider. The Pope is coming up. They are beginning to consider leadership and marriage is coming up. Because the problem is that they will not marry, but they will be giving birth somewhere. And not because God have assigned them that, but because of men traditions in the church. Now it is coming. The order is coming. If you want to marry, marry. It's coming. Brethren, God's truth will never change. It will never change. Everything else will change and decay, but the word of God will continue to remain. So these things were going on. Not only that, there was another problem. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 19. Some were accusing the elders in the church. Okay? They were telling lies about the church, the elders. And so Paul told Timothy, please be careful how you receive accusations against an elder. Be careful. Because that's what's going on. Peddling lies and saying all kind of things against the elders. Verse 19 of 1 Timothy chapter 5 reads, do not admit a charge against an elder except on the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If you are not a coward, don't hide behind. Come with evidence and prove it. Otherwise, stop peddling those lies against them. Because it's not going to help them. This is not to indemnify the elders as if you cannot discipline them. That is not the issue. Because in verse 20, he said, as for those who persist in sin, rebuke them in the presence of all, so that the rest may stand in fear. So there's no indemnity clause here for the elders. No. Just like any one of us. When we sin, and we are able to prove it, if there are evidences. Because not everything we can know or we can see. But once we know it, we should be able to talk about it. It is just like what Brother Alfred was talking about. If you come and say the elders are receiving certain allowance and you have no proof, you have no evidence, what are you talking about? Just in Samuel Road, it even went to the point where some people were talking about how they eat big. They eat big. You don't even know. Most of the elders don't even eat. At that time you are talking about, you don't even know. They were all lies. They were lies. There was no evidence to prove that. You didn't have anything. In fact, what really pains me is that even the fruits they were taking, because they will sit into the night, they have stopped taking it. They have stopped. They said they won't eat it again because they don't want any trouble. Maybe the budget will be read and you will see that elders' fruit. Because someone say, "I feel you budget." 150 Ghana cedis. Hey! What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? On his head lies the hairs that wears the crown. This is not easy. But even we can go further and argue that even scripture commands that the elders can be paid. We can pay them depending on the situation. Scripture teaches that. And I have been pushing this, and I'm going to push it, that among the elders, those who desire so to have an allowance, we will push for it because they deserve it. We can't be boasting of being a true church of Christ, a true church, a one true church, and yet when it comes to some of these facts, we are running away. No. And for all you know, one person will even come out and say, I will sponsor that for the rest of their life. Because I know that is what is even going on among some of the ministries. I know very well that the marriage counselors don't take any food eating account of money from one person has taken upon himself and has been paying throughout. You will not contribute anything. You will not impact in anybody. All you can do is to insult and accuse and gather people and then gossip around the elders. What will you profit about? You think it's an easy job? Wait, Lord willing, next week I'll do the part 2 of the verse 1, and then you will see what it means to be an elder. So he said, if you want to say anything against him, please have an evidence. Evidence must come. And Paul was quoting Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. That reads, a single witness shall not suffice against a person for any crime. For any crime. He said this, it doesn't suffice. Or for any wrong in connection with any offense that he has committed. Now listen to the rest. Only on the evidence of 2 witnesses. Or 3 witnesses shall a charge be established. The lawyers call prima facie, right? They establish something that makes you and so they will continue. Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15 for you. Paul was quoting that passage to support his argument. I'm bringing you to an end of this background thing. But this is what I want you to know. In chapter 2, Paul has dealt with the men and the women and their roles in the church. Then he comes to chapter 3. And he deals with the leaders, the elders, the deacons, and their wives. Now let me give you this final observation I've seen here. The observation is that you will notice that Timothy was not told to appoint or ordain elders. Watch that. Paul Timothy said, First Timothy chapter 3 is not about ordination of elders. It only gives us the qualities or qualification. Why? Because they already had them. Acts chapter 20 is evidence enough that they were elders in Ephesus. But the problem is that they needed to come to terms with the divine qualification. In contrast to Titus chapter 1 verse 5, Titus was told to ordain them because they didn't have them. That is the observation I'm talking about. Lord willing, next week we will then go into the proper chapter 3 verse 1. Just the one verse. And develop the call to be a leader in the church. What does that entail? I am not going to talk about the qualifications. That is left with Brother Alfred to teach at the Bible class. But I'm just going to look at what it entails with that few sentences there in chapter 3 verse 1. And we will move faster and close early, please. So thank you so much for listening. This sounds like a lecture, a Bible studies of some sort. But I just wanted you to get the background, to understand where we are. In biblical studies, that's how we call it. Where are you in this chapter? Where are you? It is also called reconstruction of the text. Try to think through what is going on. Then the letters will make sense to you for application. If you are visiting us for the first time, this is Church of Christ in Samuel Road congregation. All our emphasis is to make sure scripture is being portrayed. And one of the things scripture portrayed is that if you don't have a relationship with Christ, you are doomed. Today is an opportunity for you. Your coming here is not by chance, but I believe it's by God's divine plan. If you don't have a relationship with Christ, when the song leader comes up and sing an invitation, and please, you can indicate by standing and give your life to Christ. So that we shall all pursue the heavenly home that is set before us. May the good Lord continue to bless you all till we meet next Sunday. Amen.
Amen.